Hey there YouTube, I'm Yukitsu, this is the Yukitsu Times, welcome to my channel, welcome back to Don't Starve. This is going to be a little bit different guys, because this is a post-commentary. Yeah, I did a recording of this and my microphone wasn't turned on. Because I'm smart. Yeah, I think I'm just about, brilliant. It's one of those things that brilliant genius people do from time to time, it's just they don't turn on vital equipment that lets them do the thing that they're trying to do. Anyway, we got ourselves like a level 3 spider nest over there, we have to deal with it. Yeah, that's what we're going to be doing, but it's like really late, so we're going to have to let that slide for just a little bit here. One of the benefits of this is that I'm pretty sure that Sound Recorder for Microsoft can never do that weird warbly thing where I get possessed by a demon, because I'm pretty sure that it's not Sound Recorder that's possessed by a demon. I'm pretty sure it's Microsoft, or sorry, it's Fraps that's possessed by the demon in my case. So, things are good. Yeah. We got poison snakes. We're going to avoid those. I'm at the point where I actually shouldn't worry as much about that because I've got anti-venom, or sorry, I've got venom glands, and that's the most difficult portion to get as far as I'm concerned. The coral, I guess, is kind of difficult in some ways, but it's not really the thing I'm super worried about by comparison. So, yeah, I mean, things are looking pretty good. We still badly need that lightning rod, but, well, we'll see. In any event, yeah, the one thing that really sort of pisses me off here is that Donnie Jep, yeah, you can see that I'm actually pointing at him because that's what I was talking about, is just a regular parrot. I really wish that he was a pirate parrot. That would just make my day if he was a pirate parrot. That would just be so much better in so many different ways. But regardless, I'm about to learn a very harsh reality in monsoon season weather, trying to keep the fire going. That's not going to happen just yet, but we've still got a little bit of time before that happens. Still, I mean, it's not going to be a very pleasant lesson. We're going to be blowing through an awful lot of resources that we'd otherwise want to spend on other more useful things. Still, things aren't too bad. I'm looking through the map just trying to figure out where we're going to go to get gold. I mean, there's lots of places that I could go to get it, but, I mean, I still was not really sure which of those islands would be the best place to go to for that. It's really just, not going to actually be that bad. I think most of the islands do have gold on them, the ones that I was sort of traveling to, and I wasn't picking it up, so I'm pretty sure that we've actually got pretty good access to that if it really comes down to it. Still, it would be nice if I could have gone, like, right away to go get that, but I did have to deal with that spider nest first, I felt. It's possible that I could have done it, but, it just felt like it was a risk running a little bit longer without that spider nest getting cut down, because it really could have turned into another spider queen, and that would have been a disaster. I'd basically have to evacuate off the island or something. It would have been just totally not worth letting it happen. Still, you let one disaster slip through, and then you end up getting a whole bunch of other disasters. Or if you deal with a disaster, one of the disasters slips through. And that's how this game works. There is no winning. Just a lot of horrific losing. Still, the other thing I'm concerned about is I want to figure out, like, what in this game gives you food during all the different seasons. It feels so far like this season still is going to have the same access to food that I was having before. In particular, monkeys. Like, the monkeys have been proving an incredibly easy source of food. Like, they spawn twice a day, basically. They give you a morsel and a banana. So they give you a ton of stuff. So it's really easy to just get lots and lots of food off of those stupid monkeys. And yeah, I'm kind of wondering, actually, what you do if you're a different character. But yeah, like, look how easy this is when you've got Abigail. It's amazing. Love it. If I was any other character, that would probably be brutal, but instead we've got the easy monkeys. And we haven't met a Krampus, so I don't think that they count as innocent, which is kind of funny to me. Alright, so, over here. You've seen us doing this before. Now, this is going to get really hilarious in a really awful way. So I figure, I probably should go help Abigail out a little bit. Unfortunately, I pull a poison spider. Out of all the spiders to pull, and then, like, I don't dodge, I don't do that thing. So, I'm just like, ugh. Okay, well, now I've been poisoned, so that's unfortunate. And Abigail actually would have been just fine by herself. Like, she's so good against the spiders, and I guess these aren't as good as the warrior spiders at dealing flat damage. Which makes sense, I guess. Like, the poison effect's pretty brutal. The warrior spiders, of course, do a lot more damage, I feel, to Abigail, because she doesn't seem to get poisoned. It'd be so weird if you could poison a ghost. That would just be so weird. But we got poison glands, so it's annoying that I've been poisoned here, but ultimately I had to prototype the cure for the poison anyway. So it doesn't actually matter all that much that I've got that effect on me. So, because I would have had to have made a poison antidote anyway, like about now. In all honesty, I don't really feel like making one right now, but I'm gonna make one anyway. Like, well, if I did make one, I probably would have put it in a box just in case I got poisoned, but I got poisoned, so, you know, I'll use it now. You do have plenty of time, though, before it will kill you, especially if you've got things like venom glands, if you've got food, stuff like that. I mean, you'll last a long, long while before that kills you, so. The one thing I wasn't overly sure about was where it was in the toolbar. Turns out it's survival, I was right. I figured it would be near the healing potions and stuff like that, but I wasn't entirely sure where those were either, so. Going all the way back to wherever. Silly monkey ball. I don't actually know what the monkey ball does. I kind of want to make one and see what it does, but it's so weird to me that the anti-venom requires kelp as well. That's such a strange thing to me. There's a lot that's sort of weird about this. Fortunately, I do have a little bit of coral, so we're not too bad off here. We've actually got most of what we need for this recipe. We just need to get in our boat and pick up some coral, which is, we've got access to a couple sources of coral, but none of them are as close as I would really like them to be. We've taken like 30 damage from the poison, though. I don't know. There's not a whole lot you can say for it that's like, oh yeah, no, this was a great addition to the game. No, that's not really how I feel about the coral, about the anti-venom. I kind of feel like it should be a little bit cheaper to make, but that's only because I find it kind of an annoying mechanism. Either way. Yeah, so picking up lots and lots of kelp and then swinging around, picking up the other stuff, then we'll be able to prototype it, and this is still good, because that way, anytime that I feel like I'm out there and exploring, I don't have to worry about building like an alchemy engine just because I got poisoned out in the middle of nowhere with, you know, no way to get home in time. It's so weird that you make an anti-venom out of kelp, though. It's a little bit odd. What's going to be awful is if, like, one of the poisonous creatures is in the base game, because you'll have no way to actually make the anti-venom. That would just be, like, a hilarious thing that could happen. I don't think that that's actually the case. I'm pretty sure they're not in the base game, but still. There's probably some, like, poison variant giant or something in the game. It's just, like, awful to deal with. I'm betting. So this season, I've noticed, has like lots of different effects to it. Like, there's the fact that there's just the monsoons constantly, like the harsh winds, and there's also constant rain and hail and stuff like that. So it's gonna get actually pretty ugly. Still, anti-venom. Been prototyped, so we can now just make anti-venom wherever we need it. Bunch of snakes over there. But, yeah, like, the weather effects in this are actually quite brutal. It'd be nice if I had enough pig parts that I could make, what's it called? Oh yeah, I got a tiny crown, which I thought was kind of funny. It's like a tiny monkey crown. I have no idea what to do with it. So, like, I guess we give it to someone and they'll become, like, the king of the monkeys, I guess. That's my guess of the situation. But this is the night that's going to be really brutal for us. We actually don't have the right kind of fireplace for this weather, because apparently there's a fireplace for this kind of weather effect. It's just like, thanks game, that's exactly what we needed. It's like another type of fireplace for another season. God. Eventually this game's going to get to the state where there's like a specific summer one. It's like the cold fire for summer, and then there's like the hot fire for winter, and then there's like the wind-resistant fire for spring. Then there's going to be a specific fire for autumn. It's going to be... Well, actually, no, that basically is the case, because like use the normal fire in autumn. There's literally just a fire for every season. That's awful. Well, actually, no, use the same one in winter, I guess. Yeah, it's getting a little bit harsh. It's a little bit harsh, honestly. I actually do wonder what the spawn rate of these monkeys is, because it seems too fast in some ways, all things considered. So, yeah, what I find out this night is that this weather blows out your fires. The gusts of wind like takes down your fires so fast. I was like, okay, well, we'll switch to torches, and hopefully the torches will have a better lifespan, and they do to a certain extent because they're also cheaper to make. So it's easier for me to have a bunch of torches than it is to keep feeding logs into there. But it's still just like brutal. At this point in time, I'm like, okay, well, clearly I need to think about doing this in a slightly different way. I was thinking, it's like, okay, what fireplace is it that I need to make here? And I was looking at all this, and I'm like, none of those are going to work. I was like, thanks, game. Thanks. That's really, it's really helpful. Still, you know, chugging along. I'm not panicking yet because I know I'll make it through the night, which is all I really need to do. The one problem is that I also need to go collect gold, and I need to collect more coral, just in case I get poisoned again. So, I mean, there's a lot that needs to be done. At this point in time, I'm standing under this little lean-to here, and I'm just crafting torches. Unfortunately for me, you know, things are going to get ugly pretty soon. I should have just dropped that snake skin. Well, it looks like my... You can see that the lean-to doesn't protect it all against the wind. You can see the torch being blown apart, and it actually causes the torch to really go down fast, but I can just build back up, so I've got plenty of resources for that. So we can stand here all day playing chicken with the gusts of wind. It's not going down faster because of the rain, because we're under the lean-to. So, you know, we're looking pretty good here. Things are looking pretty okay. I'm just looking up, like, how much limestone I'm going to need, because I saw the fire pit that is more wind resistant. It's like a kiln sort of thing. So we're going to be building that pretty soon. Unfortunately, a tree gets hit by lightning, and my lean-to gets lit on fire, and I'm driven out into the rain. Fortunately, I was up there instead of down south, so my alchemy engine is fine. All that sort of stuff. Like, really, this stuff is not the stuff I was worried about lighting on fire. So, you know, it was a close thing, but ultimately we didn't lose the stuff that I was really worried about losing. We are still, however, getting wet now, and have no real protection against that. I mean, I could be building a parasol or something like that, but honestly, I feel like we've got other things that we need to get done right now. Like, you know, a lightning rod before my alchemy engine gets hit by lightning, because that would just be really hard to deal with. It'd be nice if you could actually build a dock in this game or something like that. That'd be interesting. Although I'd assume that if they did ever add a dock to this game, what the dock would do is change it so that your boat takes damage if you land and exit off of just the shore, and then you have to land at the dock to avoid taking damage or something like that. I bet they would do that. They're the kinds of assholes that would do that. Still, island to the north. Hadn't explored it fully, figured, you know, there's a good chance that there might be gold up there. Or it's possible that there's gold up there, or something like that. Still, I mean, it's kind of risky, because I didn't know for sure if there was any rocks on here, from what I'd seen on the map, because we hadn't explored much of this place. Fortunately, I saw a rock there, so that kind of emboldened me a little bit on this journey. I still haven't seen a gold rock, which is a good indication that there's a lot of them on the island, or more of them at least on the island, but when I saw this area, I was actually pretty damn sure that there was going to be gold here, and indeed there is. So, yeah, this is like a volcanic region, and I was actually thinking it would look a little bit different than this. I'd heard that there was volcanic regions in the game, but it's a little bit different than I thought it was going to be, just because there's no actual volcano here. It's got these like volcanic rock piles, and I think that they're the version of the caves here in terms of just a regenerating rock source. So you can see that I'm getting like rocks and stuff like that digging here. I'm not picking any of them up, I'm just seeing if I get gold, but you can see that like fire shoots up out of it. I think that the magma actually fills that back up. I saw one that looked like it might have gold in it, because it had that sort of funny color to it, but apparently that doesn't have gold either, so I decided to just skip the rock piles. So I think this is where you go if you need unlimited flint or unlimited rocks, but it's sadly not a source of unlimited gold or anything like that. It'd be interesting if you get like iron ore or something like that out of these. Make iron tools or something like that. I take a swing at the monkey just because I don't want him picking up all the stuff that I'm working hard to deal with. But unfortunately, I don't really have room for the poop. I think I dropped something for it. Either way, we've got enough to leave now. I just wanted to check around to make sure that there's no extra little bits of gold here, but, you know, we start getting hit by lightning, and I decide that's probably a good sign that we should just go home. I do let Abigail kill these guys, though. Look at all these monkeys. Now, unfortunately, my wetness is going up pretty badly, which is not good. Like, you really don't want your wetness going up. It's one of those things that just causes your sanity to get demolished, so... yeah, we have to get going back. We have to leave this accursed place. This is the problem I have with spring as well, as the constant rain. Like, spring is probably the most annoying season for me. Fortunately, there's no frog rain so far, but, like, if it started raining frogs, I would not be surprised. Maybe this water will fill the hole in my heart. It's like, crap. At this point in time, like, your sanity drops down so fast that it can get down to dangerous levels really, really, really quickly. I'm almost getting hit by more lightning. I mean, it's just not been a good day. Like, fish start flying out of the water at me. It's just, so brutal. Look at these guys. I don't actually think that they're violent necessarily. They sort of follow me along. I don't actually know if they are violent. I would love to know. But I don't want to know so badly as to fly into the midst of them, or sail into the midst of them. It'd be interesting to see if they could go ashore. But they don't seem to follow me that far, so I'm assuming not. Either way, because our little lean-to has been demolished, we don't have any sort of way to hide from the elements right now until we get that rebuilt. Fortunately, it's a relatively cheap thing to build, but it's too late for us to really do that. And we still don't have the way to build our furnace, which is, we really need our furnace. Alright. Either way, we're dropping off like coral and stuff like that, but we need to basically build our stupid little thing there. Fortunately, pretty simple recipe. Putting it sort of between where we're going to replant our farms and where our sort of base area is. And we're going to start reclaiming some of the resources, because I want to remake these farms, honestly. Or do we do that now? I think I do that now. Fortunately, you do get some of them back, although the amount that just went into the drink is kind of tragic. It's a little bit tragic. I don't think it was actually lost, though. I think it just helped sort of collect the side there. Well, either way. Even the lean-to, like, you would think if this burned down, you would not be able to retrieve the pond, or the palm branch. Like, that just makes no sense to me. So we hit nighttime, and I sort of, like, run around panicking a little bit because it's suddenly dark. And I wasn't actually standing where I was supposed to be, but that's okay. At this point in time, I'm still just running on torches, because I feel like they're a little bit more efficient for getting through the night here. But we still really do need to fix up our situation here. We can already re-get our farms just because we've been getting stuff hurled at us by monkeys so much. So, you know, I mean, things are not that bad for us. It's just we'll have to deal with the sanity problem when we get the opportunity to. It's going to take a little while before that's a possibility, but it's not that bad. It's worse than it looks. Sorry, it's better than it looks. It's not as bad as it looks. I don't know. I really don't. Still, more monkeys to kill. This time it runs off and starts hurling poop at me. I'm fine with this, because it means I get more of this for farms. I don't really need it per se, but yeah, they've been picking up ice cubes. It's kind of funny to me. Like, what's a monkey gonna do with an ice cube, honestly? I have no idea. There's probably actually something that real-life monkeys do with ice cubes. I don't know. Monkeys are sort of weird to me. I just sort of ignore them. They're not my favorite animal. I like foxes. I like penguins. I like polar bears. If an animal's not one of those things, or a dog, dogs are good. If an animal's not one of those things, I'm sort of ambivalent to them or what they do. So if a monkey, like, invented a time machine or something like that, that doesn't really interest me all that much. It's a monkey time machine. That's not like a penguin time machine. It's not that good. Of course, penguins in this game are like brutal mafiosos, so if they invented a time machine, it would not surprise me. Either way, we need to get some stuff together so we can rebuild our little lean-to so that we can get out of this accursed rain. I was like That's a structure, right? And it should be a structure, but it's not, because the game just really is mean-spirited. Yeah, there we go. So we don't actually have all the resources we need for that palm leaf hut. We're gonna have to go get them. Fortunately, it stopped raining at the very least, so we'll slowly start drying back off. But it is gonna take a long, long while before we actually dry off here. Lots of ice cubes, thankfully, but I don't really actually have the means to do anything with that because I don't have gears. Lucky enough not to get poisoned by a snake while we're in and amongst this stuff, which is good. But we need to get some coral now so that we can make a limestone furnace, which is, neither here nor there, really. We're also quite hungry, quite insane, so I've been picking up flowers and I've started eating them because we've also been hit by lightning a bunch of times. You know, it's just lots of bad things that have been happening to us. It's just brutal. Probably need, like, that icy flingomatic just to put out those sorts of fires. Although I can't remember if it's still... Yeah, no, it's actually... I think it was actually okay if you put out fires that way. I can't remember if the stuff is still, like, charcoal or if it just stops fire spreading or what, but either way. You can see some interesting things when you're insane and in the water. Like, you can see a sort of Loch Ness Monster shadow. It's kind of interesting. Either way. Putting out to sea. I'm going to try surfing a little bit. I think that it's going to be important to do that just for time management's sake, is using the waves for that, but I still am not too used to it. I don't really... I'm not a surfer by heart. Some of the things just, like, pretend it's snow, and it's like... Pretty sure I don't sink in the snow. Yeah, so that one actually just hit us, but that increased our wetness by a huge amount, actually. I'm actually kind of wondering what the shadow monsters are going to be like when you're fully insane. I'll try it at some point, but I have no real motivation to fight shadow creatures in the water. I mean, it just doesn't seem like a smart idea. Either way, coral. Unfortunately, that completely breaks the pickaxe, but I'm not actually sure how these things work. Like, I don't know if coral grows back, but I get the feeling like it did. Because I'm not sure if this was the coral bed that I had explored previously. So I don't know if that one came back. But I feel like if you leave it like this, the coral will grow back on top of it. Maybe you can chop down that last little bit as well, but I don't think I need to chop them apart completely anyway, so leaving them like this feels okay to me. We're just taking all of it, because I might as well. And this will make it easier to tell if it does grow back. It would be interesting to know. Although, like, the timescale that coral grows back in, it would make sense as well if it didn't, just in terms of the game. So, you know, it could swing either way. Maybe, actually, I could completely cut it apart and it would still grow back. I don't know. Still, let's not get greedy here. You can see our sandy's still just plummeting, but we will barely make it back before it turns into a problem. I'm surprised, like, the seas don't turn on into some sort of, like, foggy mess where, like, you can't see anything. Although, it kind of has a fog-like tint to it. It's not really, like, as bad as it could be. Like, just really foggy where you can't see where you're going and just get lost really easily. It's nice that it is finally dry and becalmed, though. Like, that is a huge plus for me. Yeah, we're down to 44 sanity at this point in time. It's not looking good, but we still have plenty of time. We still have plenty of resources. We've got a monkey we can kill. So yeah. Got lots of monkey skins. I mean, or snake skins, and probably monkey skins if you think about it, but obviously can't do anything with those. So, at this point in time, I sort of forget what... Oh yeah, I needed sand, and that was what was going on. So, at this point in time, we're going to start prototyping some stuff, get the chimenea here, and we're going to put it up sort of where we're going to be putting our lean-to, and the reason that we're doing that is that we can sort of keep them together during this wet season. I can hide under it during that season, and that way I don't have to worry as much about all the nonsense going on. Like with the weather, I can ignore the rain, and I can ignore the the wind, so it makes for the best of both worlds. So yeah, now I can stand beneath that, be a little bit better off. At this point in time, my sanity's pretty bad, so I decided I'm gonna make a top hat just so that I can get away with like, I haven't crafted one yet, so it'll be really good regardless. But it'll give me that boost back into sanity, and it'll also let me increase my sanity while I'm playing the game. So it's a good choice. So you can see my sanity stops dropping at this point in time. So, you know, it was a good thing. I could prototype a bunch of other things to get my sanity back up, but I don't really feel like I necessarily need to right now, because I can go ahead and just get the other sanity boosters, the flowers around the island. We got ourselves our chimenea to sit around in our lovely lean-to. That's relatively lightning proof. We can cook in that thing. That was something I was sort of curious about. It's like, can I cook this thing? It'd be nice if I could. And I can just directly eat that. I still need to get a crock pot, but I still don't feel like I need it that badly. I think that is just a byproduct, though, of playing as Wendy. I bet I would really wish I had a crock pot if I was playing as, like, someone else. Especially, like, Wigfrid. I don't know how easy it is to kill the monkeys as Wigfrid. Because I get the feeling like they could run faster than she could. Just run away every time she's about to smack one of them. But, yeah, we're getting pretty close to the end of this video. So, I know it was a little bit of an odd format, having to post-commentate it like this, but I hope you did find it enjoyable, and of course, as always, I hope to see you all next time. We'll see how the sound syncs up to this. There's probably going to be a little bit of video running after this, but yeah, that's perfectly fine.